It's computer. Perfect. All right. So everybody, welcome to your Future Leaders Call. Whatever number we're on now, I don't know. So we're on whatever number that is. So thank you everyone for joining today. We have one new person, and Kirsty, I think this is your second or third call, isn't it? So for everyone that doesn't know, this is Alex, who's joined us in the corner. It says Goose. He's a very good friend and brother of mine.
Oh.
And so he's, so Alex, so for yourself, you can listen in, you can get involved. There's no fixed formal structure on things for Q&A. This is a crypto call. And as ever, there's no such thing as a silly question or anything like that. We have people from all walks of things. But we do try and make sure the calls can at least focus on or answer anything that people have got question-wise. We cover and go through various different things, but if people have got questions and things or topics you want to discuss or just stuff they've heard that they'd like to just throw into the mix, then we allow that. So do a little bit of a quick round robin if there's less than 10 of us. So I'm going to begin in no particular order. I'm going to start at the bottom here. Andy, I'm going to start with yourself. Is there anything for you this week that you'd love to bring in, talk about, mix in, questions, anything like that? Or are you good this week?
I'm okay this week, apart from, for some reason, I aim to buy some more crypto this week while the numbers are still, well, you can buy more for less money.
Yep.
But I don't know how it slipped my mind. I've been doing this, that and the other. I've not managed to buy any this week and I'm shocked at myself.
Are you still buying through Coinbase as well?
My last purchase was through Coinbase, yeah. I've just been testing out and sent through some money to
Crypto.com.
just to make sure that through £1 initially, so I've sussed out how to get money into the crypto account, so winning.
Bingo. Awesome.
That's the next step is to purchase, yeah.
Cool, no worries. Angelita, coming to you.
Sorry, I'm eating cake.
Oh no, keep eating. Oh, we're going to go up to Elaine.
No, I'm just here
Observing.
for the knowledge.
Cool, no worries. I'm going over to you, Bradley. Anything you want to discuss or what you're interested in the current climate?
Nothing in particular, actually. Just if anyone else has any new coins on their radar, sort of thing. Other than that, just a general chat about it. To be fair, nothing in particular. Sort of dial in.
That's all good. Alan.
Well, what I've been thinking about this week is I was given some shares when I was a child, in the same way that Ray's been given crypto lately. And I had, until recently, no interest in it, really. Obviously, now my interest has been piqued. I'm learning about investing. And so I've got these shares that have fallen massively in value, Centrica, Lloyd's, Royal Dutch Shell. And I'm thinking, should I just cut my losses, get out, sell them, and then invest in some crypto that I'm quietly confident will multiply significantly, whereas I'm not confident the same thing will happen to those shares. I'm not confident that they will rebound anytime soon. So that's what I...
Give me those four names again. Centrica,
Royal Dutch Shell,
yep,
and Lloyd's Bank. And if you look at the graphs, they basically they're all like almost at historic lows, really.
What markets are they in?
Oh, I haven't got a clue. I don't understand things. I know nothing about them other than that I've got them, and I've Googled their share price this week of all of them, and then looked at the graph that comes up.
So Centrica is an energy company.
Yeah. What banking? Not what I meant is what stock markets are they in?
What does that? I don't understand the question actually.
Okay,
I think my documents seem to be through Equinity, I think it's called, if that means anything.
So Centrica look to be on the London Stock Exchange.
Yeah. Lloyd's will be London Stock Exchange.
Lloyd's will be London Stock Exchange, and Shell will be as well.
All-time high for Centrica was 400. Currently at, oh wow, 42.
See what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's two companies and a banking organisation, so they will be potentially on a downward.
Royal Dutch Shell is on London.
There's two. There's Royal Dutch Shell A and Royal Dutch Shell B.
Oh, I don't have that. It just says Royal Dutch Shell. Oh no, that's A shares and B shares. Do you know if you got A or B shares, Alan?
I couldn't tell you without going and digging out the documents.
All-time high 2650. Currently
What
at.
I was suggesting to Alan, and I'm still doing a bit of research and waiting for a bit of feedback from somebody who knows a little bit more than me, was to set it so that any dividends are reinvested in the same shares, and then later on, come retirement, is to start receiving those dividends, because you'll have more shares, and obviously by the time you come to retire, you'll have more dividend money coming in, so it's a bit of income.
Yeah, if it's still going, because that's assuming with everything that's happening with the shares in general. Like if fiat money collapses.
One of them has already slashed their dividend as well, I found out in recent days. I can't remember which one of the three, but one of them slashed their dividend to try and save money.
I mean, in terms of potential growth, probably the best bet would be, like, if you wanted higher returns, you put it into something else, because it's going to be more of a steady burner. Even if it does pick back up again, it's not going to be not going to be like a 10x, for example.
I agree, but it just feels silly to sell when they're at the bottom, but if they're never going to pick up, then there's not really much choice, is there? It would have been nice if I'd been interested in them 5-6 years ago or something, but I wasn't.
Yeah, well, the one that the Shell shares that you've got, because they don't just deal with oil, gas, and things like that. So there's always they're trying to look at alternative energy as well. So they're always diversifying what they do. So
You're on about Royal Dutch Shell there, yeah?
Yeah. So even when they do rock bottom, they always come back substantially a lot more.
I'd say out of all of them, like energy companies are probably going to be the strongest for the future. Like it's the Lloyds Bank one, I'd have the biggest concern over, because it's banks. I mean, Lloyds is a big bank though, but so are some of the other companies that have gone. If you think about the 2007 collapse for America, what was it? That bank that set it all off that no one thought would ever go. Lehman, yeah. So anything's possible. The beauty with the Lloyds Bank one is you're only at it's all-time high in the last 10 years, 75, and it's only at 26 now. So it's dropped by 2 compared to some of the others. Like your Centrica one's gone from 4,000 to 400, so that's a 10 times drop. So your Lloyds one's dropped the least, it would seem.
It might be a good idea. I was thinking maybe sell 50%, and that way I'm kind of hedging my bets, and put 50% in from the sale into crypto or whatever else that I think is more likely to do well.
It's also just on. We'll come back. I tell you what, we'll come back to it fully in a minute. I want to finish just going around this round robin, and then we're good. Angelita, are you cake free?
I am cake free. It's all gone now.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. It's very nice. No questions really. Just wanting to learn more. I have invested a very, very small amount of money compared to all the amounts that you're flinging around. But yes, so I have bought some more of something. I can't remember what I bought even. But I did.
Okay, so your first task is to know what
it is.
Yeah. Because I was going to ask for yourself. I know you're on a explorating journey. You're using crypto.com, aren't you?
Yeah.
The last time we spoke, I said go and actually just buy something.
Yeah. Well, I did.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So then, whilst we're finishing off this round robin, then let us find out on your phone what you bought, and you can tell us. Cool. Okay. And Kirsty, anything for yourself? I think you said you're observing.
Not observing. Confused. No, I'm just listening. So I just want to, I'm just listening. I'm just listening and learning and loving it all and just really enjoying listening to how just you all blow my mind. That's all. I just want to hear it all. That's all.
Okay, so Kirsty just wants maximum. That's cool.
I don't want maximum. I just want it all from and by all it's that by that what I mean is I'm blown away by all of you just being there doing your stuff. Like I'm gonna let you in on a tiny thing. So I've just taken on this new job. My new job is lecturing for Leeds Music Conservatoire. And I'm now in charge. This is really funny. I'm now in charge of music, business, and professional studies curriculum for Leeds Music Conservatoire. And my job is to look after 425 students every Monday morning at 11 o'clock on a lecture. And my lecture is to get them, well, in the conservatoires idea, my job is to get them ready to get a job at the end of their 3 years. And I, thanks to some of these calls and my work with Daniel and lots of other people, my job and my intention is to get them empowered and to help them empower themselves to be ready to meet a new world and to become new leaders of our new world. So these calls are really important to me because I'm just learning all the time so that I can pass on that knowledge to 425 new 20-year-olds. So that's why I'm also here.
Awesome. Well, maybe we'll get some of them on these calls at some point. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, cool. Mr. Goose, anything in particular for yourself you want to ask or know about or chat about with crypto or anything?
No, I suppose I'm still learning at the moment, just like everyone else. As we've had a few conversations, so I've kind of got a base level of information about what I'm going to do. I've made a small investment, some coins, some bitcoins through XO coins.
What platform were you using for that?
XO coins. Is it XO coins? Is that what you mean?
No, you use an app on your phone probably. What did you use to actually do it?
On the PC.
What's the website?
I think that's what it's called, XO coins. Pretty sure.
I don't know that one. Okay, well let us find out what that one is because I'd like to just have a quick look at it.
Okay.
Using XO coins. Bradley, have you heard of XO coins?
Just Google it, it's xcoins.io.
That's the ones, yeah.
EX?
No.
xcoins.io.
I've not heard of it before.
Okay, cool. Xcoins. I mean, there's hundreds now.
Yeah.
EX. Oh no, just Xcoins. Sorry, I'm spelling it wrong. Okay, yeah.
American.
Brilliant. And is your the coins you bought, Alex, are they held on a wallet inside xcoins.io?
Yeah, it's got a wallet built into it.
Okay, cool.
Which but you can actually, I think the reason why I chose this one is because it was one of the only that I'm guessing it's not the only one, but it's one of the ones that I found that I could just buy them with PayPal.
I've just seen that now. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what attracted me to it. Is that obviously the ease of PayPal and the security was. I thought. Is
that since because PayPal have only because PayPal had a ban on all crypto. You couldn't buy crypto with PayPal until about. It could only have been like a month or two ago, and PayPal were like, "Okay, we're gonna start allowing crypto payments." But this is the first one I've seen that actually has it in there.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
That's really good. Okay, cool. In that case, then I want to bring up a bit of a conversation about wallets. Alexander.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I've been a bit off. I've not been on one of these calls for about 2 months, so I've got a few questions, if that's all right.
Sure, of course it is.
So my questions were around Celsius. I'd like to know a little bit more about Celsius, and more so true GBP. I didn't realize that was a thing. It seems like a really good way to be able to save your money as opposed to it just being in a bank account and actually acquiring more of a compound interest than just NatWest or any other bank. And like, what's the, how safe is it? Does the price of that change? Like if you put £100 in today, in a year's time, will that still be £100? That's one question. Another one's around Ledger, like the Ledger. I've found it difficult getting other coins on the Ledger, the Nano Ledger, but I can probably do my research on that myself. So put that as like a very low priority question. Mm-hmm. And then the last one is more around like exit strategies and yeah, when would be a right time to take out coins, how much, etc. I've just seen Bradley down a pint as well. That was great.
It's Diet Coke. It's not beer. It's just in a pint glass.
So it's because we're hardcore on this call, Alex. You see.
Yeah.
I've got a double water.
The other day, asking if it was wine, I was like, nope, not a 1 o'clock in the afternoon whilst I'm working on webcam.
Okay, cool. So I've got anything else, Alex?
No, that's all good for me.
All right. Well, let's get this show on the road then. So we've got plenty there that we can discuss and work through. I'm going to come back to Alan first, just because we kind of stopped halfway within that then. From my side, like the first question I'd ask though, Alan, with regards to like, do you sell shares and put it in something else, is going to come down to risk profile. Always begin all of your decisions around money with risk. And to take, for example, if you're a 20-year-old, can take far more risk than an 80-year-old, because there's just more time to allow for corrections, for errors, for everything. And then when you're starting to look at what you're going to go into, generally speaking, shares have been considered, well, compared to crypto, way safer. However, given the current climate that we're in, how safe? Like Andy spends a lot of time looking, she's buying and selling shares. She's in that market, which means whether it's an up market or a down market, it kind of doesn't matter, because she can find those good gems, and if she gets a bit of a raise, she can take it. Whereas Alan, for yourself, you're holding on to stuff because you're not trading the shares. So you've really got to start to think about, well, if I'm holding on to them, what am I looking to? How safe and how strong are these as bets going forward? You know, how much is the market going to recover? I hadn't appreciated. Andy, do you trade on the Stock Exchange? Are you all exchanges or just America or what?
Just the English ones at the moment.
Okay.
The platform I'm on will only let me buy and sell English stocks and shares.
Because how much? Because the American stock market's been supported quite well. Like it reached an all-time high, or a recent all-time high recently, and it's been propped up. Whether it's the money printing or whatever, it doesn't matter. But I hadn't noticed how much the London Stock Exchange seemed to have just totally tanked and has not been propped up. Is that the case? Is that what you've seen?
Well, generally the world over.
Well, the world, okay, all markets, but like the S&P 500, it's had some dips, but given everything going on, it's still keeping quite a high.
Yeah. The only thing I've seen drop is the car manufacturing sector across Frankfurt, London, America. All of those, the car manufacturing sectors, GM Motors, Toyota, Renault, everywhere. That they've all took a dive, but generally everybody else has been on the way up.
I'm just trying to look at it now.
Wasn't there a massive boost in Tesla's? A massive boost over the last couple of days, I think, didn't it? For some reason or another. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think some of them are really are in. Sorry, I'm getting calls. I think some of them are in.
Your banks and supermarkets have been on going up and up.
On my FLT code, sorry. So for yourself, Alan, like if you're looking to come out of some of those, I like your idea about selling only some of them, and then at least you've still got some exposure. I don't know the stuff around dividends as much, like Andy will, like what Andy shared earlier. and I'm trying to be agnostic and non-biased, but like I'm massively pro crypto, and I don't trust, personally, I don't trust the stock market. I don't believe in it anymore. And I don't know it enough to put money in it to trade it. So if I had money in the stock market, I'd take it out and I'd move it into crypto. But that's just because I think there's more, as far as future growth goes, I think it will be one of the most outperforming markets that we've ever seen. Like even to date, Bitcoin year upon year upon year has completely trashed any sort of return from the stock market. That's just one coin. And I think the stats someone brought out last week, if you bought Bitcoin at an all-time high, which is 20,000, and you invested $50, £50, whatever you want, every week, just whatever the price is, you just bought on a particular day, you would still be up 150%. And that's with buying 20 grand. So I trust and believe in that far more than any shares. But you're also entering into a riskier space. But if you moved into the more stabler coins, I don't mean stable coins, safer coins like Bitcoin, and probably things like Ethereum, I can't see them going away anytime in the next few years. And if they do, there'll be a lot of noise in the lead up to it. So obviously, like, I'm not a financial advisor. That's just what I do with my money. And out of all three of them, I'd drop Lloyds Bank. I think energy companies have got a much... They've moved from oil companies. These are energy companies, renewable energy, new energy, biofuels, all that sort of stuff. And I just think they will stand the test of time more so than the financial industry will. That's my take on it. And I open it up to other people. Andy?
Yeah, this is where you like your crypto, but I'm one of these. I prefer to have a little bit of money in crypto, a bit in property, a bit in commodities, a bit in stocks and shares. So I'm basically hedging all bets. So I should have a little bit of income from all of the above.
So if you only had shares in those three companies, yeah, percentage-wise, Alan, if you're happy to share, what percentage of your wealth assets would you say roughly, given the current value of them, is in the shares? Just to give an idea, if you're happy to share.
It's, I think, less than 10%.
Okay, so less than 10% of your invested money is in shares.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So given that, Andy, would you move them, change them, hold them? What would you do as our resident share person?
I would hold on to them and reevaluate every 12 months or so, see where they're at. Like I said, what I would do is set it so that the dividends are reinvested, so your actual number of shares would go up and thus your dividends would increase year on year.
How would, Alan, do you know how to do that if you chose to do it? Is that something that you could do?
I'm not certain, but I could start by contacting Equinity. So something happened a couple of years ago where I got these documents and it said, no, it was when I changed the address, that was it. And I had, because it was in my parents' address because they'd bought them for me when I was a child. So all of the address stuff went through some body called Equinity. I don't exactly know what they do, but they seem to look after the shareholding in some way. I don't understand any of it, to be quite honest. And I would start probably by contacting them and then maybe do a bit of research online and go from there.
Yeah, I would research Equinity to start off with and make sure that they're doing what they should be doing with your money, really, with your shares.
They're like a financial broker.
Yeah. Whether they're the ones that are pocketing the dividends or as a fee.
Well, so far the dividends have been coming to me as far as I know. I didn't think there was anything being taken off. So that's the way it has been working. And I would, like I say, have to inquire as to how to convert it to what you're talking about if I decided that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Anyone else got any pointers on what they think they'd do? Experience or no experience, it's all welcome.
The just looking at the charts, the Royal Dutch Shell, I mean, the price is still up at 1,000, above £1,000, right, for per share, which is still a fair.
That'll actually be £10 a share because they're in pennies.
Oh, right, okay, so they're in pennies. So
yeah, so 1,000 point whatever will be £10.
No, it's
no,
not
so it's
1,000 points.
1,081.
It's 1,081.00.
Yeah, it's 1,000. I would read that as 1,081 because Centrica shares are 42.82 and Lloyd's Banking is 26.16. Now Lloyd's,
that's 26 pence.
I would have that as £26. I'd be really surprised if
No, it's
it's pennies.
it's in pence, right? Okay.
Yeah,
gosh.
so to actually convert it to pounds, you need to move your decimal place over to.
Over. Okay,
it's
cool.
definitely pence, because when I was trying to figure out how much they were worth, I got really excited and thought I've got loads of money.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Gutted.
I would have done that. I would have done that. Okay, cool.
Does that mean that Royal Dutch Shell is £10.81?
Yeah. That now would be a time to buy some more. That's why I'm saying I would reinvest those dividends.
So it's really confidence about
them.
bounce backability.
That makes sense. Because Lloyd's Banking, they're basically, they've been flatlining since 2008 when they lost. They lost
TSB.
Lloyd's Banking Group when they
split with TSB. Because was that not about then?
Well, I mean, it also coincides with the financial crisis, right? When a lot of banks dropped a lot in 2008. And it looks like it was more 2000. Yeah, it was like beginning of 2009 that they really dropped down to their low, and they've been balancing at about that price since.
Centrica and Royal Dutch Shell dropped a lot later, didn't they? If I remember, I'm just looking at the graphs in my memory.
Yeah, Centrica's been on a downward spin since 2004, 2013, but it's been gradually kind of dropping down. Yeah, I don't know, but I can totally see Andy's perspective of by not investing any more money, but just reinvesting and just hoping that, because I suppose it's not cost you anything at this moment. You know, you can reinvest and they will be looking for ways that they can be increasing their share prices and increasing their business for sure. And I know that a lot of oil and gas companies are diversifying into more sustainable types of energy, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it sounds like
if it's only 10%, then that's quite a low. And it's not like if it was like 70%, then that's a lot of your wealth within it. Because I'm a massive believer again in diversification. Like Andy said, I don't include the stock market in that diversification. So I think you just got to ask yourself the question: am I cool with it? What do I trust? And just really just kind of pick your view of the future. There's investors out there that have got no money in the stock market. There's investors out there that have got loads of money in and not a penny in crypto. So it's just about you looking at things and going, where am I at? And also work out what your percentage in crypto is in. Because if that's already at 50, 60%, then you might be like, actually, that's quite a lot. And I'm quite happy having a little bit in this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of that. Does that kind of help to at least just unpack it a bit, Alan?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all of you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, keep us updated. And if you want any more chats and stuff, then post it in the group.
Thank you very much.
Cool. All right. So we're going to just come on to wallets quickly because I wanted to cover something that...
Sorry, can I ask a question a second? Back to what Alex C was saying in his couple of questions. One of the ones that I noticed as well, and I just opened one myself, obviously being a newbie, I'm just kind of investigating, is that Celsius app. I don't know if Alex C has seen that, knows much more about that.
Yeah, well let's put, we'll deal with Celsius and the whole stuff around true GDP and return on interest. We'll put all that together because I think Celsius is really powerful. And then we'll do that and then do exit strategies and then we'll do new coins. So because what brought up wallets for me was Alex Gosling, because you've bought on that xcoin.io, and it's just understanding. Like I've never heard of Xcoin, and I'm sure it's completely fine and legit platform, but it's just there's simple things you can do to take your coins off xcoins.io and bring them onto your computer, because then if they got hacked, they went bust, or you've got no idea. So much nefarious stuff happens in this industry, like literally daily. At least if you take them off xcoins.io and they're on your computer, they're safe.
Yeah.
And that would be just one thing that I want to promote. And there's what we call hot wallets, which are on your computer, because they're hot, meaning like a hot swappable hard drive. It's done live, so it's connecting to the internet. And cold storage is where it's dead. It's not connected to anything. It's not hot. It's not running. And cold storage is super safe, and that's what Alex C was referring to, which is the ledger. Before you buy a ledger, just get something for your computer. Exodus, Atomic, Garda, and Trust are the four that are generally the safest that are out there. It's certainly the four that I've interacted with that I find really safe, and the people that make them I trust as well.
Just on, sorry to interrupt, Daniel. So is Coinbase not a hot wallet?
Coinbase is not even a wallet. Okay, so Coinbase, Xcoins, Crypto.com, even Celsius, they're platforms that you can do multiple things. They've got a lot of utility, and they also happen to have wallets. I don't know what you'd even call them. Web wallets? Do they have a name? Bradley, do they have a name for exchange wallets?
Keep them on the exchange, yeah.
They're the top of the tree in terms of risk, though. I can tell you that.
You rarely want to keep it on an exchange.
No. So the general rule is you keep your coins on an exchange if you're going to do something with them. So I have coins in Celsius, but I have them in Celsius because I want some of Celsius's utility, which is to provide a return on interest. I've got coins in Binance that are doing nothing, and I need to take those out of Binance and either put them safe in cold storage or hot storage, or I need to put them into something like Celsius or Crypto.com to make them work. And that's one of the things I wanted to bring up on this call is you can make your coins work for you. And I'm not going to go deep into this on this one, but if they're on Coinbase, they're probably not working for you, or Xcoins. So to answer Alex C's question directly, Coinbase is not a hot wallet. It's a site you can do lots of things. A hot wallet is a piece of software you install on your computer, and then it has a few various forms of security, and then you'll create an address and you'll send it from Coinbase to your hot wallet or cold wallet. Does that make sense? Yeah, cool. Okay. So Alex has bought a ledger, which is like these things. And just for other Alex's reference, they look like USB pens.
Oh, right.
But they're not USB pens. They've got like a USB-C or USB-A input. And they contain a bit of firmware on them, and they basically keep your crypto keys safe, which is a bit like your full authentication to be able to sign the blockchain to say, I own those coins. Yeah. So Alex, you said, I know you won it on the last one, but I did want to bring it up. So you said your difficulty getting some coins onto the ledger. Which coins?
So at the moment, so I've got a Ledger Nano S, which is the big ledger.
Oh.
Yeah.
S is the small ledger.
Yeah. The small one. So I've got XRP on there. I've got, I think I've got Ethereum on there, and then still a Lumen as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. Yeah, definitely XRP and Ethereum, but then there's a few others like Cardano coin.
And when you say you're struggling to get them on, what do you mean you can't fit them on because you've run out of room?
No. So that would be. It's that I can't find the. I've not used it for such a long time. I don't know the correct words, but hopefully you know. It just doesn't seem to support those coins.
Definitely. I'd be really surprised if
it supports the majority.
Yeah, it's got to support Cardano.
Yeah, I'd Google the specific, sometimes you need to download like a specific wallet onto it. They'll give you a step by step. I'll have a look now.
So
Yeah,
when you
do it online, I can.
do you have the Ledger Live software for your computer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you go into that, on the left hand side, it'll say apps, and you click on apps, and then there's a massive list of like 2,000 different coins, and there'll be a search box at the top, and you'll just type Cardano, and it'll say install. Because it definitely supports Cardano, but if you find that you're running out of room, you'll have to delete Ethereum. You have not lost your coins, don't worry, and they'll still be on your overview, like of what you've got. All the apps do is they allow you to sign the blockchain. So your Ledger Nano S can probably hold 4 or 5 apps. And when you run out of space, you'll just remove an app, and you'll bring in Cardano because you want to sign the blockchain to move your Cardano. And then if you had to delete Ethereum to do that, and now you need to sign for Ethereum, you'll have to delete an app, bring Ethereum in. And as soon as you bring the Ethereum app in, you'll see all your Ethereum accounts to sign for. So you'll have to actually install the Cardano app.
Okay. So if there's no space and you take Ethereum off, does that mean that it's not stored there anymore, even though?
Well, this is the thing to get your head around a little bit, is that they're not even stored on your ledger.
Yeah.
So the easiest way I can explain the blockchain is like, right now, all of you can open your phone and view an email. Yeah? But is your email on your phone? It's not, because if I smash your phone, I can go and access it over there. So your emails are stored in servers just in the ether. Now they are physically somewhere because it's running, like Google's servers are physically somewhere, but the whole blockchain is just a series of data that's kind of, just imagine a cloud or a bubble here, and it's fully transparent, so you can see every transaction that's ever happened. But this one address right here, I can look at it and I can see that it's got 10 Ethereum. I've got no idea that's Alex's address, but I can see it. In order for someone to move money from here, they have to interact with the blockchain. So they're going to say, hey, this address. And it says, yeah, I'm here. And you say, I own you. And it says, well, if you own me, you'll have the key, which is called a private key. And that private key is what is held inside that app. So when you delete the app, you can't sign for it. You can't say that they're yours because it's going to say, give me your private key. And you say, oh, I don't have it. But as soon as you click reinstall the app again, Ledger has built a system whereby even when you delete the app and you bring it back in, it knows what accounts you had, and all of your private keys are there again. So you could delete all of those apps fully. You could buy a brand new Ledger, load it up, you put your seed phrase in, which connects it back up so it knows who you are, and then you just bring all those apps back in, and they're all back on again. It took me a while to really sink that in, and I don't know if that's confused people or if that helps.
Yeah, that helps. I was just confused as to why there's storage, because
because I can't even answer that. There just is the security that's needed, the stuff that's needed in order for you to actually go about and transact that still requires someone to write a piece of code to do it all.
Right.
But I can't really answer that in full. We've got a new guest on the show as well. Is that a pug?
It's Barney.
It is. He's like a little parrot.
It's like a parrot. Pieces of crypto. Pieces of crypto. Okay, so I can tell you this, Alex. Ledgers aren't the easiest of things. They can be pretty complex. I like my ledger, but there's times when I'm like, it blags my head. They're getting easier and easier though. If you can at some point get a Ledger Nano X, which is the bigger one, and you don't have to worry about half of those things. But it is just one of those things you do. I started on an S, but it fills up in no time.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So now let's go on to Celsius then. So Celsius is just like crypto.com and Coinbase. Well, it's not. So I did a video in the group the other day where I shared, like, you've got money, fiat money, and then you've got crypto. But actually, if you separate them, you actually have money, fiat money. Then you've got some crypto sites that will allow you to spend money and buy coins, like crypto.com. And then you've got some crypto platforms which are completely crypto only. Like I can't talk to them about pounds and dollars and credit cards and bank transfers. And Celsius is one of those. And they offer a selection of coins that you can hold with them. But Celsius was the first crypto company to offer instantaneous compound interest. Instantaneous. Whereas on crypto.com, I can hold my money there, but I have to actually take my money out of a particular part of crypto.com, move it to another part, lock it in for a period of time, and then they'll give me some money on it. And any money they give me, they pay back into the other account, so I don't get to compound it. And that's how most of the other crypto sites work. So Celsius is different in that, guys. And it's also got a lot more, in my opinion, heart and feel behind it. And every single week, the guy that owned it, created it, doesn't ask me anything where you can just ask him all sorts of questions. I think he's birthed 8 companies, and 4 of those companies have been unicorns. So he's really well experienced, let's say, and he's very much a community-driven man. So Celsius will give you a return on investment. Now, you were asking about like true GBP. So for Kirsty is in here, Alex, with other Alex, we've talked about this a little bit. The stable coins, the ones that are linked one-to-one. So you said like, in 10 years, if I get £100 coins worth of true GBP, how much will it be worth? It's still going to be £100. It's pegged one-to-one. So £1, one English pound will always be the same price as one true GBP. But the value, how much that's worth, is down to inflation and deflation. I mean, when I was growing up, I'd buy a nice big chocolate bar for 20p, 23p maybe. Now, what a chocolate bar is like 70, 80p, something like that when you go to a shop. So a pound's still a pound, but what I can get for that pound's totally different. And I've got no doubt that Elaine or Angelita, who's not here now, when they were growing up, chocolate bars and bread will have been a fraction of that, I'm going to guess. Mum's smiling. That means yeah.
Yes, what you could get for your money. I mean, I used to get, this is, gosh, it makes me sound old, I used to get 1 old penny a day to spend. And 1 old penny is a half new penny.
So it's half a penny. Half what we would call a penny. And that would give you a decent amount of stuff.
Oh, yeah, you could get 4 more jars for a penny. 4 sweets for a penny. Because people didn't have the money. And yeah, you could get a lot more bang for your buck then.
Cool. Okay, so for yourself, Alex, like I hold money in true GBP purely because I started to think, why would I keep it in a bank? So I'm not actually bothered that it's a digital crypto coin. I'm not speculating on its growth or anything like that. All I'm thinking is, if I've got £1,000 that's in the bank, I'd rather have that somewhere else, so long as I think it's safe. And this comes onto that safety question. Banks have got insurance against protecting your money. Good crypto sites do as well. So Celsius is insured against all of its cold storage crypto. So when I, as a customer, put my money on Celsius, that is insured against loss, theft. The company also has over £200 million in cash reserves. And I think its total crypto assets is like 200 million at the minute. So even if it went, it's not in the risk of going bankrupt. So you've got 2 things to look at. One's what's my insurance if they got hacked? The other one is, how strong is the company? Like, is it still going? Is it still here? So I've answered yes to all of those against my own decision about what I think about Celsius. So if I move 10 grand into Celsius, I get £1,000 interest a year on that. So I'm getting between, currently they're offering 12%. And if I get paid in Cell tokens, which is their native token, then I can get up to 28% interest.
Yeah.
if you get paid in sell tokens, you're not being paid in pounds. And now you're into the more volatile side of crypto. So now I'm being paid in sell and it's currently 44 cents, but I'm speculating that in a few years that will easily be worth $10. So I'm not just getting a 12% return paid in sell, but I'm also gaining the appreciation of sell.
And you're getting the higher interest rates that they give as part of their,
because I'm getting paid in sell. So it's if all of a sudden, if I got 20% interest on £10, on £100, then they'd give me £20. Yeah. But I'm getting it in sell tokens. So they'll give me £20 worth of sell tokens. Let's just say they're worth £1. So I get 20 sell tokens. If in a year sell's worth £2, then you could argue that actually what I got there was closer to a 40% return. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I was doing research on it on Sunday, and then it showed their platform. They showed their rewards platform. They said if you purchase or you get paid in interest on sell tokens, then the interest that you receive in true GBP increases. So it goes from 5% to 10 or something.
Yeah, well, you just so you're clear, if you're choosing to be paid interest in sell, then you won't get the interest on GBP won't be in GBP. You'll get it paid in sell.
Sure. Can you do half and half, or does it have to all be in sell? Or all
you can choose coin by coin. So if you've got 10 coins, you can say, right, these ones I want to be paid in pounds. These ones I want to be paid in sell tokens. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do half and half, then every month so this is what I'm doing. Some months I'm choosing the whole month to be paid in sell. Some months I'm choosing the whole month to be paid in pounds.
Yeah.
So you can split them, you can do whatever you want, but I just want you to just understand that the minute you choose to be paid in sell, if you had £100 and you got a 20% return, at the end of the year, you'd still have £100, but you'd have a box over here that's got the whatever the return was in sell tokens.
Sure.
Is that clearer?
Yeah.
Cool. And then stuff like True GBP, sorry, it's not True GBP, it's Trust GBP. I kept calling it True GBP. So it's Trust. Trust is a brand, and they make a GBP coin, an Aussie dollar coin. They make a euro coin, all of these.
Yeah.
And they'll always be pegged to whatever they are.
Sure. So it's just like a bank account, but the interest rates are higher.
That would be a really simple way of saying it, yeah. But it's just understanding as well. I always have to stress that there's just risk. There's always risk. I'm very comfortable with where it's at, but I'd be wrong to just say it's a bank account because it's not, and I wouldn't want someone to take that in the wrong way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So exit strategies then. Everyone differs, but there's a guy on YouTube called Lark Davies, and there's something he just always says, and that is it's like a mantra: take profits. And until you've taken profits, you haven't made any money. So some people don't prescribe to that, and they're just going to hodl and hold their money until the future. And that means if it was, take Alan's instance, or something's worth, let's just say it was worth 2,000. Yeah, I'm doing really, really well. It could drop to 10, and you might think you've lost out. But if you're not looking and you're just laid back and you're leaving it, then it could go back up to 2,000. You had no idea about this emotional dip that could have caused turmoil. So it's being clear on what you want to do. I'm slowly moving more into the space of actually beginning to take profits on things. I'm thinking about doing that right now with Bitcoin. There's a really high potential that it could drop down to 8,000. So I'm watching that twice a day, just seeing where it's at. So I'm thinking of taking some profits now at like 10.7, 10.8. Waiting a couple of weeks and just seeing, I might re-enter again at 9,000. I'm not bothered about entering at the bottom. If you're not and you want to hold it, then you still need to keep your ear in the game. Now, I think stuff like Bitcoin is not going to go away, but if you're holding Cardano, yeah, if you're not paying attention in a year, Cardano could be dead. I'm just picking a random coin there. So, and you would have no idea, because you're just kind of setting them and forgetting them and putting them in a wallet. So I don't. I try not to tell anyone to prescribe to or say to anyone to prescribe to just leaving them. And if you do, at least know somebody who's interested in it, who can at least say to you, you had Cardano, didn't you? I'd probably look at that now. Yeah, so it's about choosing your sort of strategy. You've got at one end of the spectrum people that spend all time on it, another end of the spectrum people that will monitor things, and some people that will leave it. So for me, I'll look at things and I'll choose a target now, and I'll say, right, if it reaches that, I'm going to sell 10%. And the idea for me with any of my coins is to get my capital back out, because if I can get my cash back out that went in, it's okay if it all loses, if it all drops. So think about how much you put in and looking at where stuff is. And then the easiest thing you can do is pick your coin, find out what its all-time high was. So in the last bull run, for example, Ethereum went to about 1,300, I think. So that means that Ethereum chart. Let's have a look. So that means that it would not be unreasonable to think that in this bull market, Ethereum 1,400 it went to, that Ethereum could reach 1,400 again, because there's more money, there's more people, there's more regulation, there's more noise, there's more chat, there's more everything. So if it's been 1,400 when it was pure speculation, then we should at least be able to get it to 1,400 again in the next market. So you might say, okay, so I bought at 300. The minute it's at 900, I'm going to sell 10%, because I don't want to wait for it to reach the all-time high. It might not. You never know. Anything happens. And then you might speculate beyond that. And if you keep your ear to the ground and you're just watching enough stuff, if the market's moving, it might not stop at 1,400. It might get to 2,000, 3,000. But it's not about thinking I lost out, because, all of these are wins. Whatever you do, don't hold on as long as you can until you think you're at the top. Try and exit in stages. That's my take on things. Bradley, do you want to give us your experience for the last bull market?
Yeah, 100%. I learned a lot from the last bull market. I think I was very much in it for quick cash and naive to think that it was going to carry on going up. I watched it go from 400 quid, which I initially put in, about 7.5 grand, and didn't take anything out. And then watched it go all the way back down to, well, a fraction. So that's something that I've learned for this time round, when it hits certain prices, to take money out, even if it's just the initial investment.
Can I just, Bradley, on that, can I ask you a question? So you got in, you watched it going up. When it was going down, were you aware it was going down, and were you just kind of thinking, oh, it will go back up again?
Yeah, I think it went down, and then typical reading crypto Twitters up buy the dips. Then I think it was around March time 2018 when it started to really start going down. I was like, oh, I might as well put some more money in. So I put another however much I put in, and then it went down and plummeted, and then we were in the bear market for 2-3 years, weren't we? So
how experienced at that time, when they look at the cycle of fear, greed, and then all markets go through these cycles, were you new to charts and that whole crypto space back then?
Yeah, this was my first experience of markets and stuff. I lost when I was younger. When I first turned 18, I lost about 3 grand, which was all my savings since I was 12 or whatever, trying to spread bet on Apple stocks as soon as I turned 18, and just lost all my money. So that was very much an experience of I had no idea what I was doing. And I did it the day before a quarterly report came out, and it went down and then spiked up. I didn't have enough funds in it to run out. So lost all my money there, and that was my only other experience with the stock market. And then it was crypto. So I've been very much experienced most extremes of financial markets, I think. This was completely new to me. It was my first ever experience of it, and everyone was saying it's going to keep going to sky high, and then it just plummeted, didn't it, really?
And there will have been a lot less information available online, and chatter and YouTube, because like the amount of creators now and channels you can follow, I think that really makes a big difference, because even if you don't know, you can just watch a handful of videos and get a flavor, a strong flavor. So what's your exit strategy for
I think I want to wait till I think the next bull market will go past all-time highs, or you'd hope so anyway. Start taking a bit of profit then, but I'm looking at it more like a long-term investment anyway. So I'm happy to take out a bit and then let the rest ride out longer term. But in terms of actual price targets, I don't really know. Like XRP, I'm not going to touch it until.
I just think we just don't talk about XRP.
Yeah, but it's in like if it, I feel like that's just going to rocket out of nowhere, genuinely. So that's my one long-term hold, I think. The others, I don't really know. It all depends. Like, I feel like I've bought quite at the bottom. I feel like it's still very low, the prices at the moment.
I agree.
So yeah, I need to get a strategy in place, but definitely taking profits along the way of some sort.
I think in a simple way, if you can just be clear with yourself. First of all, Alex, really understand what price did I buy at. I've bought at so many prices and so many platforms that this week's my crypto week to get clear, get it all in something like Blockfolio or Delta, which are the two biggest crypto tracking apps. So you can track, this is how much I bought it for this day. And every time you add to your position, you can just add another entry in. So that at any point you can look at your Blockfolio or look at your Delta and you just see, I'm up 76%. So you might say to yourself that every time I go up 100%, I'm going to exit 10%. Or you could just say, I'm not even interested until Ethereum hits 1,000. And so long as you've got some way of seeing the app, so I have a widget on my iPhone every day, a couple of times, I'll just swipe the other way and I can see all my coins, well, the coins I've invested in the current price. I can't see how much I'm up or down, but in my mind, I generally know. So as long as you have some way of tracking what it is that you want to set, and you've thought a little bit about it. I mean, even Bradley's saying like he's waiting, he thinks things are going to go higher than the all-time high. So I'm going to guess, and putting words in your mouth here, Bradley, until things are getting close to the all-time high, you're not even interested, really. Yeah. So that in itself is even a base level strategy, because he doesn't have to think until that time.
Definitely look at Blockfolio though. It was interesting because just in response to Kirsty's message on the chat about whether to leave it in certain coins or move it about and try and grow it. I've got some money from my mum, which I have in my Blockfolio, and I've got my own, and I'm more risky with my own, as in I try and like move it about and probably try and chase it a bit too much, to be fair. But in percentage wise, my mum's, which I just left over the past 3 months, was up about 15% more than my own portfolio. And I didn't even touch hers, so I just left it. So it's interesting, like, to compare the two, from where one was completely just holding just because I didn't even consider moving it. And then mine, which I'm trying to chase all these different like runs and stuff, and probably ended up buying at the top and then it going down because I'm FOMOing into a particular coin. Yeah, sorry.
What portfolio? Sorry to interrupt. What portfolio? Is there just some general investments in that portfolio?
So Blockfolio, you can put into the app basically what price you bought the coin at and which quantity, and it's kind of.
Just 1 second, Goose. Did you say portfolio or Blockfolio?
Oh, I meant Blockfolio. Sorry.
Okay. Right. I thought you were asking about his portfolio. Carry on, Bradley.
So yeah, you put in like every time you buy a coin, for example, like every time I put more money in, I just add that whatever coin is, however much I've bought, or how many coins that I've bought, and then it sort of monitors it as a whole, as a dashboard across your whole portfolio. Or if you click on the individual coin, it says sort of like the profit or loss of that particular coin. It breaks it down for you, and you can put your portfolio sort of across a day, an hour, like 3 months, all time, and it sort of shows you as it's gone up or down. And to have that to refer to.
Okay, so you've got various coins within your mum's Blockfolio.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. No worries. Which one's doing best at the moment then? You particularly on that one?
I think, well, to be fair, like the ones for me that have done well. The coin that's done the best since I've started putting more money in, since it's been at the lows, were Ethereum. That's done the best for me, and Link. Link's done pretty well. I got in at Link at like, I didn't buy too many, but like £2.50, I think.
Nice.
And that peaked at like 14. It's down to 8.70 now.
Did you sell when it got to 14?
No, I actually bought more.
So I learned a big lesson. You know, when we had the last big rise, like Link had got to 20. I talk in dollars. Link had got to $20. Bitcoin had got to 12 grand. We were on a big up, yeah, and I was really excited. And then we tanked, and it really taught me. That's when I switched from realizing just holding and watching is just doing myself an emotional. I'm just hitting myself with a stick. So now I've switched now, and I'm like, you know what? Because I bought at like 3 or 4 for Link. So to get to 4 to 20 is what, a 6 times return. And I started thinking, I'm being stupid here. Like, that's a 6 times return. That's 600%. Yeah, okay, it's nowhere near its all-time high, but I'm okay with that. And I realized for the first time that subconsciously, I'll use the term greed. Like I had points where like, no, I don't want to miss out. And I've realized now that I'd rather take the safer bet, because by not taking profits, I'm never making any money from it. And if I had taken them then, or any time, if it does dip, you can keep your money in a stable coin like USDT or whatever you buy in, and you can just buy back in. It's okay keeping some money in pounds or dollars or something. You don't have to have it all invested, because opportunities do arise. I wasn't buying when Bitcoin went to 3,000. I wished I had. I was like, oh no, I don't want to buy anymore. And then I ended up buying more when it was at 10,000. Yeah. Just so I think, but I do think you have to kind of go through those cycles sometimes to feel it a bit. So Alex, does that help answer that question a little bit, or whoever we're answering?
Yeah.
Cool. I want to bring this into, because Kirsty asked, like making your crypto work for you, what does that mean? So just to link that back, Kirsty, so earlier we were talking about Celsius. You have your money in an Exodus wallet right now, and that's it. It's safe, it's stood there, but it's not doing anything. If you had a 10 XRP, then in a year you'll still have 10 XRP. If you were to move those coins to Celsius, on average, you'll get a 5% return in all of them. And then that whole thing when we're talking to Alex about getting paid in Cell tokens, if you chose to move your coins there and be paid in Cell, then that would allow you to be accruing a 4th token coin for free that has huge speculation potential. Or you could choose to be paid your interest in XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. And then you'd be slowly, a bit like when Andy said earlier, getting your dividends paid in shares. So you're not getting any money, but it's just growing up. Was that cool? So does that help answer that question on what do we mean by
kind
that?
of? Can you just say that again? So if you were to move your small amounts from Exodus
to
Celsius, and what was the 4th bit? I missed the 4th bit.
Then once you move them, they'll pay you interest.
So they'll pay you interest, but what was the 4th? And then you said,
I'm coming on to that now. So
Sorry.
on average, you'll get about 4 or 5% interest.
Okay.
And you can choose to be paid interest in the coins that you've got. So you'll effectively over time be having more coins, more of them, or you can choose to be paid in their native coin, which is called Cell token.
Okay.
And that's where you'd get your interest. And then when the price of Cell token goes up, you have a whole nother growth potential.
Okay. I will let Ray know that. Ray will definitely say, Ray will definitely already know. My 6-year-old's going to go. And what's better about Exodus?
No, nothing.
Nothing, but I mean,
it's safe. It's safe, but it's not going to. If you're answering the question, making it work for you, Exodus is not making it work for you.
I think what my question is what is the risk in that? So potentially, if you do something to make it work for you, then what is the risk in making it work for you?
So the risk, the top level risks is a hack, but they're insured against hacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the company going bankrupt, but it's sat on a £200 million cash in the bank balance sheet and made by a founder who's got serious experience in building $1 billion companies. Brilliant. So there's always risk, but I deem Celsius to be a fairly safe option.
Amazing. Can I ask one other question that Ray
Go on.
I just really enjoy answering my 6-year-old's questions about his Bitcoin that he invested.
Probably asks the best questions, to be fair.
Ray, for anyone else who's listening, Ray's 6 and he got £3 for his tooth. His first tooth came out and he got £3. And I said, what do you want to do with your £3? And he said, I want you to call Daniel and invest it into Bitcoin.
Did you invest it into Bitcoin?
I did. I put his £3 into Bitcoin. And then this week he said, Mummy, I need to ask a question about my wallet. He said, I can't see my wallet. He said, so I don't understand the wallet because I can't see it. And I said, well, it's on the internet, darling. He said, okay, can you ask Daniel a question then? And I said, of course I can. What happens when the internet goes down?
Oh, a word that you wouldn't want to say to him.
Is what?
If the internet goes down, we have a lot of bigger problems.
Yeah. But I just wondered if I could just put that out there.
Yeah, he would. The short answer for him is he'd lose his coin.
Perfect.
He might not care about anything else that's going on in the world. You might, but if the internet goes down, he's lost his money.
coin.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. I'll just let him know that. He didn't have any other questions other than he said, it was like a few weeks ago, he was like, Mummy, how do we just buy a different coin? He said, I've got Bitcoin. How many coins are there? I was like, I don't know how many coins there are. It's like, I'm assuming, and forgive me, everyone else, I'm assuming coins are just made all the time according to whoever's creating new coins.
Yeah, there was 8,000 when I looked a few weeks ago, but then the other week I looked and there's 6,000. So there was a lot of exit scams. So just to give you an idea, there's 8,000 coins a few weeks ago. There's 6,000 now. That means 2,000 coins just.
Brilliant. And how do you choose a new coin? So you can, I remember, is it Andrea? Andrea said something great about looking into the companies and seeing what you're investing in and who are they. So it's essentially just doing that and you get a better feel for it all.
Well, we're going to come on to new coins now. So that everyone will have different values of what they do. Yeah. So, when we talk about sense making and whereby if you haven't checked facts, and Bob comes to you and Bob tells you something and you go, oh, wow, yeah, cool. And you take on Bob's opinion. You handed over your sense making via proxy to Bob in that moment. Yeah. Unless you're going to check where Bob gets it from, he could also be a poor sense maker. So I kind of link that when I'm buying coins and looking at coins, there's certain people online who I trust.
Yeah.
And I trust them because I've watched them enough and I've looked at how they go about doing things enough that I'm like, you know what? Like, so for example, Lark Davies, who I talked about, the crypto Lark. And I like the way I find him of the big people that make information. I find him really unbiased and he's very clear on what he's heavily leveraged into. But he doesn't just talk bad about coins that he's not into. And he doesn't just talk about good about coins he is into. So, I listen to him, and when he says, I'm really interested in these 5 coins, then I get interested in those 5 coins. He's not my only person, but with so many coins out there, you've got to start somewhere. Because if I begin on the news boards,
absolutely,
that's just news. That could be a crap coin middled with a great coin. So
I'm just starting with Andrea. So anything Andrea says, I just note it down.
I just think it's always worth, if you're looking to buy stocks and shares, is to have a look at who the major stockholders are of that particular company, whether they're all English companies or whether they're Russians, Chinese or Germans or whoever that are the major stockholders, and then to have a look at those as well. So it's always to keep going back and back to see how those particular major shareholders are doing themselves as well.
Nice.
Kirsty, did you say stocks or crypto?
Did I what?
Did you say stocks or crypto? Because they'd be
both.
Very different. Both. Because
No,
I'd probably say
just how do you research where you should put your money? That's what it is.
Oh, in general.
Yeah, just in general, like if you're going to invest, whether it's in crypto or it's in stocks, like even if, obviously like Daniel, my account, so the amount that we're talking is minimal. But I also know that if I don't have something out there, even if that's £3 or £10, then nothing happens. I don't get to grow it. I'm just, I'm worth what I can make per hour.
Then if it's okay with you, because I'm looking at time and I want to finish off coins, I'd actually like to, that's a really good opening question for the next call, because how to just even begin, because the thing is as well, how much you've got does impact where you can put it as well, and more and different.
Maybe we could have a beginner's call.
We can have a beginner's call.
That would be great.
I'm gonna, if you can just write that in the chat, because I want to just copy and paste that question so that we start it on the next one. Now.
Brilliant, thank you.
Because I want to come on to Bradley's question, which is about like new coins and things, and that's what I was trying to just lead on to after yourself, Kirsty. Then, for myself at the minute, Bradley, like obviously like DeFi's massive, decentralized finance for everyone out there, which is like stuff the banks have been doing, but in the crypto world. And I'm really interested in alternatives to Chainlink. So oracles, so things like not lend, begins with B. There's one that begins with B. There's Teller. Band, that's it. I knew it was 4 letters. Band, Teller, and I might still get on the bandwagon. But I really like Teller at the minute, and that's coming up a lot.
How do you spell that?
Tellor. I think it's OR. Yeah, Teller. So I really like those. So I'm going to get a couple more oracles. For people that aren't aware, an oracle is a middleman, a middle coin that can access loads of other coins and provide information and data. So it helps bridge different coins together. And Chainlink's the big one. That's why it's called Chainlink, because it's linking different blockchains. Thank you, Kirsty. And there's other coins out there, because there won't just be, or it's unlikely that there'll just be one oracle coin. So I'm really interested in those as the next big speculation. So Band, which is already massively pumped, but I think there's loads more room to go, and Teller. The other thing that I'm just the other day decided on to really look into is there's other Uniswap.
Mm-hmm.
So again, for people out there, Uniswap's a really easy way to change between coins. You can't buy into Uniswap. There is no Uniswap coin, but there's other sites now coming about which are going to do exactly what Uniswap's done. And I think Uniswap is going to be the future of retail exchanges. People don't want to look at charts and do limit orders and market orders and all that sort of stuff. People just kind of want to go, well, I just want to buy some tomato coin, and I've got some Ethereum. And they want really easy interfaces to do that. So there's other sites coming out like Trust Swap. Basically, if it has the word swap at the end of it, in my opinion, I'd look at it as a way that's trying to replace things like Uniswap. And I think they're going to be massive. I think they're going to be absolutely huge. I'm still confused with Mantra DAO. I don't know if you're looking into all the DAO stuff. I haven't got my head around it or spent any time on it. But I hear that one all the time.
I had I'm part of this like crypto Telegram chat with like my brother's mates, and they got in on Mantra DAO pretty early on. So they're doing pretty well off the back of that. I actually did my first ICO. I got on the whitelist for this coin called Linear Finance. I'll send you the link.
Is that closed?
Yeah. So I was up at like 1 a.m. the other day trying to sign up to the whitelist. But that's the first one I've done since 2017. So
Did you do ICOs in 2017? Yeah.
I saw some of them go from 1,000 to like 2p.
So ICOs, for people listening, is an initial coin offering. So in the same way a stock will premiere itself with an IPO, initial public offering, where they go to the public and say, okay, we're here and we're $1,000 a share, and then the market will start buying and selling it. ICOs are the same. So they'll raise some money, sell some coins at a certain price, and then they'll go out to the market, and either it goes up and you make a shitload of money, or it goes the other way and you get
my mum's invested in an ICO, and she was telling me some of the percentages that they're claiming, and I was just, it was just unbelievable, and I found it really hard to believe, you know, because it was.
Oh, it's real, mate. It's very real. You can get into ICOs at fractions of a penny per coin, and within the space of 5 minutes, it could be worth $10. So you imagine getting in at 0.001. So I'm in some groups that are called OTC, which stands for over the counter, and these are groups, thousands of people in these groups, and you're only allowed to post. It's very strict. It'll say like you gotta title what you're selling, how much you're willing to sell it for, whether it's unlocked. That's all you can do, and then people can respond to say DM me. And there's just thousands of people selling coins before they're listed at different prices, and you can make 10,000% returns easily. But just understand as well that when you hear shit like that, it comes with massive risk.
I know, this is what I mean. That's why I said to my mum, I said, look, I'll believe it when I see it.
But you could put like, so I do this. So I when I do OTC stuff, I'll put 50 quid in. Yeah. And my view is that 50 quid might be worth 500 or 5,000, which I'm cool with, or I might lose it. And just think of it like a casino. Are you willing to lose the £50? Yeah. And I might do one of those every 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Yeah. And I'm still careful with it. I don't treat it like a casino. But my point is, if you have that mentality, then if it does go to 20 quid and you exit and you've lost 30 quid, don't cry over it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But you can definitely win some big money on it.
There was one the other day. I don't know. You might have seen it on some of the OTC pages. It was OIN Finance.
These are all the yield farming ones, aren't they?
This particular one wasn't it. These are all like DeFi. The one I've just done is a DeFi ICO.
Yeah.
It's they call it a cross-chain decentralized Delta One asset protocol. But that's like a liquidity provider, but you can trade things like it's not just coins. You can do commodities, forex, market indices, and stuff.
Okay.
But that should be going live this week, hopefully. Hopefully get some more information on that.
Because I think right now there's a lot of ICOs happening right now, and I am very interested in some of them. I'm choosing not to spend much time looking at it just yet, because I think once you look at it, it all happens really fast. So you got to look at it, do some research, make a decision, do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll look the next day and it's gone up or it's gone down or something like that. And if you don't want to invest in the ICO because you think it might be overpriced, just understand what market it's going to go live in, which exchange, register on it, put your dollars in it, and then be ready. Because some of the best deals you can get, if you think that something is overhyped and everyone's bought at 10 cents, then you can wait on that exchange and you can set up a buy order at 1 cent. And if it tanks, you just picked it up for a cent. And if it starts to go up, you might choose to just buy a bit higher, but then you are buying on an uptrend. And generally you shouldn't do that because it's more risky, but it depends how fast you want to work. Like I've got lists of coins, Bradley. Like if you want me to send them over, like it's just so many coins being made that I just can't keep up. Now Polkadot, which you'll start hearing us talk about more on these calls. I'm a big believer in where Polkadot's going and what it's doing. So I didn't get in early enough, but I didn't get in early enough on Bitcoin. So I'm just dollar cost averaging into Polkadot. Every time there's a bit of a dip, I just buy a little bit more. And I'm not in any rush to do it, because to talk about portfolio, and maybe this is a bit more for Alex C a little bit, to use Andy's analogy earlier of like diversification. So you can diversify and say, I've got some in stocks and shares, crypto, property, gold. Yeah. But then even within crypto and stocks and shares, you can have safer, more stable coins that move, but are long-term going to be here. And you might say that 30-40% of your portfolio is in safer stocks or safer cryptos, but then you might take 10% of your crypto portfolio and be more speculative with it. And that's the ones that you might do some ICOs. You might, a coin comes on the market, you think it's going to do well, you're going to put 100 quid into it. But then as soon as it's at 300, you might exit, even if it's on a big uptrend, because you're like, no, I'm just going to take my money, or you might ride it. So that's how I kind of treat my portfolio. I have safe, I've got mediums, and I have like 10%, which is riskier, dodgier, all that sort of stuff. So I'll send you some over, Bradley. In fact, I might pull you into another group that I've got where we can just talk about these things in more detail and depth. So one of the reasons I want to split the FLT groups out, because I think as soon as we've got crypto and finance on one side, we can just pepper it with whatever we want to pepper it with, because everyone that's in there is interested. And sometimes I think by having them together, 30% of the people don't like crypto and don't like finance, and we're talking about finance and wealth, that just makes them less engaged and less interested. And I've also been building a spreadsheet, and if you want to go on that and just add yours into it and have a look, because there's just so many new coins being added.
Yeah.
Like every single week, and they all sound amazing. Mana and Carver are two that I think are going to do really, really well. And Mana is the coin for virtual property. So if you're into property, think of virtual property like this. If in the past we used to have a billboard outside your shop to advertise your shop, and people sold billboards, the minute someone went online to the internet, people were like, well, why do I need a website? But now everyone has a website. I think virtual land will overtake property within countries sometimes in the next 10 or 15 years. And if you've watched the film Ready Player One, that gives you an idea of where virtual land is going to go. And you can pick up virtual land plots really cheap right now. And there's whole markets that are springing up, buying and selling property, virtual property. And people are starting to rent virtual property out, because some people can't be bothered with how you deal with it, and putting shops on there, and people are making virtual clothes that people can go and buy and literally wear on an avatar in those worlds. So it's getting really big. And Mana, which is the coin for Decentraland, I think is going to be massive. I think it's the biggest one. They're the three markets that I'm most interested in: Oracles, virtual land, and replacements for things like Uniswap.
Cheers, Daniel.
No worries, man. No worries. Okay. And I'll send you some more stuff as well, Bradley, afterwards that you might be interested in. I don't want to blag people's heads too much on here. So, okay, so we've come to the end of today's call. I hope we've covered enough for people in there. I think we've covered all questions. Yeah, cool. And so we'll do next week's call. I'm going to have a see what the topic will be for next week, whether it will be more consciousness conspiracies or crypto. We'll have to see what happens in the world. But thank you, everyone, for showing up. I hope I asked everyone. I did ask everyone. That's cool. Brilliant. Alex, Goose, thank you for showing up on today's call and making it in. Welcome, everybody. Thank you, everyone else, for joining as well. And I will see you all next week. All right, guys. Take care.
See you guys later.
Enjoy yourselves. Bye-bye.
Bye.